Another thing, why do we shove our shoulders up into our ears? Yeah, why is this more stable than this? When I elevate my arm to the side and I bring it to horizontal, what does my shoulder blade do? It externally rotates. Can you guys see that? There's external rotation until 90 degrees. From 90 degrees and over my head, what do we start seeing? Elevation. So there's no longer external rotation. Now there's a lot of elevation happening. So if you look at the shoulder blades, as I lift my arms, they externally rotate. As they pass 90 and they start going overhead, they start elevating. When they start elevating, everything, all that connective tissue around the spine starts compressing into the midline. It starts elevating and contracting into the midline. So now I'm becoming more of a post. I'm bringing everything into my midline. I'm bringing everything into a nice compressed pillar. And not just that, but now I also have room because I've created a system that's like a band under tension. I can actually work on this. If I have a band that's broken or caught in the middle, which would be this, the system is broken. Can you guys see that? It won't move fluidly. I won't be able to transfer power or energy from one side of the system to the other. That's one of the reasons we do this, because it's way more progressive. I'll be able to receive the bar overhead, and it won't be a clunk. It will be a smoother catch, and I'll be able to use that as my little suspension system. If we look at artistic gymnastics, when we start flipping or doing front handsprings, we call this blocking, and blocking is when we can bounce off our hands and actually get some kind of spring off of it. The only way that will work is if I'm compressed up into my ears. If I have a system that's nicely, evenly distributed. If I have a system that's broken, one or another of the sides are going to take more tension or less, and now it's not going to develop the output that we want. Can you guys see that? That's what we compress. It gives us more midline stability. It gives us a lot of compression and options to create a system. You guys with me on that? All right, so we have a handstand and we have a headstand. Now we have to take it and put it together. How do we do it? Let's bring an ab mat over. We're going to this wall. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to place the mat maybe a foot away, 6 inches away from the wall. This is what's going to happen. We're going to go up into the handstand. We're going to load our shoulders up. Our belly is going to be tight. And we're going to initiate the handstand push-up the same way we did with our push-ups. Shoulder goes forward first, then the rest of the body. This is the same thing as squatting. Belly is tight, butt's tight. Hips go first, then the rest comes. Can you guys see that? It's the same movement. The shoulder is the hip, the elbow is the knee, and the wrist is the ankle. Same thing. If I initiate elbows and then head straight down, now I'm losing all kinds of traction in my main power generator, and I'm just doing an elbow extension, which apparently we don't like that much because it just doesn't make us fitter, right? So, push-up position, walk yourself up. She's a superstar. Feet go first. She gets her shoulders into a good position. Now, even closer to the wall if you can with your hands. Good. Hands a little bit closer together. Even closer. So this is a pretty hard handstand push-up right here, but I'm going to grab her tight. You're going to initiate shoulders forward first. Now head comes down to the mat. Slowly lower yourself down. Now hold that position. Good. Now do this. Go ahead and add tension by squeezing the elbows in, belly tight, and drive through your belly like the push-up. Belly tight. Good. And then you come back up, and now you walk yourself out. Good job. Nice work. You're a superstar. Superstar. So, yes, that's a very hard handstand push-up to do. But doesn't that feel exactly the same way you did with your push-up earlier?
And easier than anyone I've ever tried.
And easier than anyone I've ever tried. Why is that? Yes, there's a lot of tension in the shoulder. Yes, there's a lot of tension in the belly. But if I have those positions, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, this has to be scalable. If we don't have our buddies around, what do we do? Box. Yeah, we take the legs away, we put our feet on the box, and we do the same movement. But it's very important to have the basics down. If I don't have the basics, I can't do anything else. And that is the key component of this stuff. That's why we do it this way. That doesn't mean I can't do back against the wall. Back against the wall is legit if you're doing it legit, right? If you're not doing it legit, everything else you're doing is just everything else. And this becomes isolated. If it's not relevant, it doesn't make sense, we don't like it. Cool? So, partner up, guys. This is what I want you to work on. Walk yourself up wherever your handstand was today. So let's say, well, come on over here. We're actually going to do this. We're actually going to do this. Head is going to go there. So we're going to scale it this way. She's going to walk her feet up. Wherever she gets her shoulders locked out. Good, let's say that's what's her handstand for today. She's going to point her toes. If you have socks on here, better. Squeeze your butt down a little bit for me. And shoulders back a little bit further. Good, that's her lockout. Now, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand right here. Now you're going to initiate shoulder forward. Head down to the ground. She comes down. She separates from the wall a little bit. Push your hips towards me a little bit. There. Now belly tight. Now drive through the belly and up towards the wall. Good. And now she finishes. So spot her from behind. Grab the calves tight. Shoulders on her feet. Go ahead and down. Initiate through the shoulder. Extend the hips a little bit for me. There. Now drive through the belly. And then she comes back up and I let her post and then walk down. Cool? We just did the dehydration test when I was squeezing tight. Look at that. Dehydrated. You're in trouble. All right? Good job. So guys, teams of 3, let's get a couple of these exposures. Wherever your handstand was today earlier, that's what you're going to work on. Do not go any higher. That's the knucklehead test. Can you get away with this today, right now, like this, and not have to go crazy? All right? Go for it, guys. Partner up. He's going to walk himself up. I maxed out at 315. All right. Walk yourself up wherever your handstand was earlier. Now point your toes if you can. Okay? Hands a little closer together. Hands closer together. Even closer. Good. Now chin in. Initiate through the shoulder. And head goes forward, belly goes forward. So you see how you want to collapse in? Through your, see how your head is inside of your hands? Yeah, that's where you want to be. Now press up through the belly. That's pretty good. Now one more time. I want to go longer range. Shoulders forward more. Shoulders forward, 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 forward. And now back up. Good. And relax. Yes, 1/4 of an inch forward is before you bend. It's like doing hip before you get down. We have to hinge, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that we saw, as soon as you loaded up, what happened? Elbows went out. That's the same thing as doing this. Valgus.
Gotcha.
So what are we missing? Why do we collapse in the knee when we squat?
Weak glutes.
Yeah. Squeeze your butt, buddy.
Right.
Squeeze your belly. Now the knees will come out.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
So same thing here. What's weak? External rotation is weak when we're overhead there. So maybe there are some holes here that we can find that will translate into your O lifting.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what we're hoping, right?
Yeah.
And if we hit that, now gymnastics becomes relevant. Now I care. This is athleticism, application of fitness. Gymnastics is only an excuse to be able to talk about these holes. That's what it is. All right, here's the deal. When we come down, if our shoulder's going far away from our hand, isn't there a lot of loading going on right there? Wouldn't it be easier to keep things close? Would I curl a dumbbell or would I plunge a dumbbell? I know you wouldn't do it because you guys are awesome. But what would you do? What's easier? How would you get the dumbbell to your shoulder? Will you bring it close to your body and press it, or would you do it far away from your body? Close, right? So is this right to go far away from the body? Purpose again, good job. But what's going on here? Isn't that a little odd? Like, why would I go there? I like the silence. It means you're thinking.
You're incorporating more of your different muscles than just back here. Bring your chest involved in front of your shoulders.
Yes and yes. We got the 2 answers. So balance and incorporating more of that torque that we talk about. How can we increase torque? Because this is freestanding handstand push-up, if I did a just straight up and down, if I try to do a headstand, try to do a headstand right now with your hands right next to your ears. Hold it for 10 seconds. Go. Ah, what's going on, right? I'm going to fall. It's very hard to hold on a beam. Another thing is, am I going to have someone for the first time press behind the neck or in front of them? In front of them, right? Why? Why don't I put my athlete behind the neck and press for the first time? There's a lot of external rotation. This is a very vulnerable place for the shoulder to be, so I want to teach them in front first, and then once we know that they have the capacity and then they understand the movement, we can change the angle. Cool? So here, we're not doing a full range handstand push-up either. We're just going partial range. The range of the shoulder is all the way down, right? So that's ears below my hands. So if I grab parallettes and I did the same handstand push-up, this is going to change. I'm going to start overhead. Shoulders are going to go forward because I have to maintain balance as I am coming down. But once I reach breaking point, ears to hands, now I'm going to come back in again. Can you guys see that? That's where I'm going to be balancing. That's where my center of mass is going to be. That's where I'm going to be the strongest. If I'm holding it out here, now there's too much weight. There's too much stuff going on. Keep it close. As I press out, same thing. I move my chin back. It almost sounds like weightlifting there. And I come up overhead, stick my head through, finish. So can you guys see that? The only reason we're going far away is because we're exaggerating that platform. This is for freestanding. And then as you go deeper, you're not going to stay there. You're going to come close again to your body. And you're just going to allow the shoulder to travel throughout the full range. It's as simple as that.